Shalom. We'll get started here in just a few moments.
Psalm 30. I will extol thee, O Lord, for thou hast lifted me up, and hast not made my foes to rejoice over me. O Lord my God, I cried unto thee, and thou hast healed me. O Lord, thou hast brought up my soul from the grave. Thou hast kept me alive, that I should not go down to the pit. Sing unto the Lord, O ye saints of his, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness. For his anger endureth but a moment, and his favor is life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning.
He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. And how sayest thou then, Show us the Father? Believest thou not that I am in the Father, and the Father in me? The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. Believe me that I am in the Father, and the Father in me, or else believe me for the very works' sake. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. And whatsoever ye shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If ye shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. If ye love me, keep my commandments. And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another Comforter, that he may abide with you forever.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto my power. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Hakwadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father. His true name in Hebrew is Yahweh, and his son's name, who the word enemy called Jesus Christ, whose real name in Hebrew is Yahushai. Also give her praises, honor, and glory to the Yahweh Hakwadash, the Holy Spirit, which is the force and entity that makes this application possible. I want to say shalom to our you sincere-hearted Akim wa Akwat, that you brothers and sisters make your bodies a living sacrifice on a daily basis in this wicked and adulterous generation. Also want to give double honors unto my beloved apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who taught me this truth and who rule well. And I'm the brother Azmawat here from the Great Millstone Dallas camp, coming back this morning with the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemal Shah to do another lesson. And the Lord's will, this lesson be found edifying unto the elect of the nation of Israel, as well as glorifying unto the names of my power, Yahweh Shemal Shah. And I want to briefly get into the topic at hand this morning. As you can read the title, it says, this new system is ready to be rolled out. All right, this new system is ready to be rolled out. And for those of you, it's lucky. For those of you, who's not new to this, you've been watching the apostles, bishops, elders, brothers video, for some time, you very well indeed know exactly what we're speaking about, okay, as it pertains into this new system. All right. And it has everything to do with Revelation, the 13th chapter, okay, which ultimately, okay, the highlight of that chapter is the mark of the beast. Okay, but there's a particular system, there's a particular infrastructure that's going to be the transportation and the ultimate, if you will, okay, is digital transportation, as into how trade and commerce is about to, take place, okay, in this new world order. All right, so this is what we've been on the lookout for, starting with our apostles, and as each day passes by, we're getting closer and closer and closer. All right, into the MOTB, okay, being rolled out. I was watching one of the latest videos that Apostle Hart just did. I believe he published it maybe about 8 or so hours ago, and he had made mention, this mark can be rolled out within the matter of 6 months. That's how short of a time we have left. We're not talking decades. We're not talking you have certain Israelites believing in 30 years. No, man. Okay, this thing's about to happen quick. All right, and as you see on your screen before you, it says BG unveils global digital enslavement blueprint. Okay, I'm going to show you he's a left-hand architect. Okay, doing doing the bidding, okay, of the elites. All right, a forecaster, left-handed prophet. All right, these men, okay, it's just not just some corny ass, Microsoft tech guy with a sweater. Okay, no, these men, they're ultimately working for the spiritual demon Satan. All right, but he says, your identity, bank account, and body must become one. Where do you read that at in the Bible, man? Okay, Revelation 13 and 16. As a matter of fact, let's open up with that. Okay, because these prophecies are speaking loud and clear. And for all you Jakes that's tired of listening, oh man, they talked about that yesterday. Well, okay, keep that same energy, man, because you're gonna wish, okay, when this thing really gets rolled out, you're gonna wish that you would have taken this more seriously. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and ultimately the fruition of the image of the beast is going to end with the New World Order. But everything that leads up into it, all right, them bringing Rome back. I did a lesson yesterday going into, his science, his medicine, technology, okay, all these particular, assets of society or aspects of society. This is them bringing Rome back, except this time it's with technology, okay, and your traditional, form of government is eroding, day by day. And it's being replaced by technocracy. Okay, that's going to be your new form of government. You had not BG, but you had Sleepy Joe. He says we need less government and more science. Okay, so this is going to be the new form of government, is technocracy, which when you go into that word technocracy.
Technocracy.
The government of control, so like the government or control of society or industry by an elite technical experts. See that? And you have the likes such as BG, Peter Thiel, Larry Ellison, okay, and all these men. They're in Trump's cabinets. Or Trump's cabinet. Elon, okay, and many other men. Sam Altman, many other guys that we don't even know about. Of course, you got that Mo, Noah Yuval Harari. Okay. So your traditional form of government is really at this point, all right, irrelevant. That's why when you read 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, okay, it speaks about how the legitimate government shall be overthrown. Legitimate meaning what? Your traditional form of government, that the way how laws of the land are formed and govern. That's is overthrown. It's being replaced. It says the government or control of society or industry by an elite technical experts. All right, so this is the new form of government, is technocracy. So let's go back to Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right? And the image of the beast is speaking. Okay. How's it speaking? Well, look what's going on, such as what we're speaking about right now. All right, in this lesson. Okay, they're openly telling you that, global digital enslavement is here, and how your identity, bank account, and body must become one, and it's going to be in the form of technology. All right, all these data centers being reared up. Okay, over 50% of the construction that's happening within America. Okay, it's ultimately for these data centers. You see, so that's a part of that's one way of how the image of the beast is speaking, man. All right, and ultimately it's because these prophecies are speaking. Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. In the end, it shall speak and not lie. Okay, this Bible is speaking, man. So it says, going back to let's read verse 16. And he causeth all, which when you go to that word cause, it means to make. Okay. Both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. So no matter what your status is, no matter, okay, if you're white collar, no matter if you're blue collar, no matter if you locked up in prison, no matter if you so-called free. At the end of the day, he's making this whole planet a prison planet. Okay, a digital enslavement. It says to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that is a physical mark, which when you get to that Greek word mark, Strong's G5480, charagma, a stamp, an imprinted mark, all right, of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand, and it could be either hand, okay, it could be your right hand, your left hand, okay. It says as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist, right, and there's many Antichrists, okay, but ultimately this is showing that, this is showing your allegiance unto this system, unto the so-called white man, all right, and it's going to be shown for physically by an actual imprinted mark. It says thing, carved, sculpture, graven work. Okay, and that's the RFID microchip, man. That's a graven work. That's a sculptured, carved thing. It says of idolatrous images, because this is ultimately idolatry, right? Because you're putting, okay, Esau and his system above Yahweh B'Shemal Washah, the true power, the true God, all right, of heaven and earth. Look, it says as a badge of servitude. See that? Slavery. So this is what that's what this is going to lead to, because it's, oh damn, hold on. It's lucky I didn't mean to do that. That's what this is leading to. Okay, because as BG is openly saying, talking about global digital enslavement, with your identity, bank account, and body must become one. As we're about to read this article, it's going into these biometric digital IDs, but it's not going to stop with digital IDs. These digital IDs are ultimately going to be inside of you. Okay. They even said plenty of times that, cell phones are about to be obsolete. Your cell phones are going to be inside of you. Okay. And when you read, one of the latest memorandums, whitehouse.gov just put up, winning the race of 6G. It speaks about, surveillance under the skin. See that? So this devil's about to be invasive. Well, he's already been invasive, okay, 2020. But see, that was just all a test gauge, man. And you best believe this, this so-called, PDEM that's going on right now, or this epidemic right now, okay, is going to play a part in leading these governments into this new system, man. All right, so real quick, I want to grab this in Psalms 28, and then we'll get into this article. Psalms 28, verse 1. Look at the title. It says, a prayer for help and praise for its answer. Ooh, that's right, man. And Yahweh B'Shemal Washah is only helping his elect, as they're the only ones that's crying out for his help. And he's also giving us the answers. Man, hey, Blue Letter, they be hitting it with these titles, sometimes, man. See, it says a prayer. That's a lesson. A prayer for help and praise for its answer. So somebody got the answers, bro. All right. Blue Letter will let you know. Okay. Ultimately, Yahweh B'Shemal Washah will let you know. But I just like this title Blue Letter put up, and praise for his answer. And we are praising Yahweh B'Shemal Washah for answering us, man, giving us the answers. Okay. And he's giving his answers to who? Amos chapter 3 and verse 7. Surely the Lord Yahweh B'Shemal Washah will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret, the answers, unto his servants, the prophets. Okay. Psalms 25 and 14. The secret, or the answers of the Lord, is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant, man. NLT, the Lord Yahweh B'Shemal Washah is a friend to those who fear him. He teaches them his covenant, right? He's teaching us, okay? But it's in the sight for all to see and hear, okay? But he's only given, spiritual discernment, spiritual ears, spiritual eyes unto the elect. So they have the answers. They can see clearly what's happening. So Psalms 28 and 1, a psalm of David, unto thee will I cry. While the whole world is crying unto Esau, Edom, looking unto Esau, for help. All right. And if you love your life here, man, you are going to take the mark of the beast, and you are worshiping the image of the beast if you love your life here. See? And this a count it all joy, to you sincere occupant aqua that's in the right spirit. Count it all joy, okay. As shit doesn't go our way. It's not supposed to. The Lord doesn't want things to go our way. If things go your way all the time here, okay, that just means that you're part of this world and you're none of Yahweh Shemal Shaz, man. See, because he needs to keep us chaff in the spirit. He needs to keep particular thorns inside of us, man. He's not going to take it out. He's not going to take these particular thorns away. Why? Because he wants us to hate our life here. So when this new system is rolled out, it ain't no fucking question if we're going to get the mark. No, hell no. Fuck Esau and fuck his chip, man. Okay, so we need to hate our lives here. You need to hate the current situation that you're in, your living situation, your job situation, your family situation, your health situation. We need to hate these things, man. Okay, because these very same things, okay, those very same things I just listed off is the very same things that these people in the world are going to try to keep. See, and Esau is going to have leverage and manipulation over you if you have any type of bond or affection or affinity, okay, to anything in this world, man. So counter all joy, brethren. All right, brethren. It says a Psalm of David, unto thee will I cry. O Lord Yahweh, Ba'Shemal Shah, my rock. Right, he's immovable. Okay. He's solid. He's that solid friend. He's that rock, man. It says, be not silent to me. Right. And the Lord is not silent to us. Even in the times to where it seems like he's silent, he's not answering us. Listen, he's already given us the answers, bro. All right. It says, lest if thou be silent to me, I become like them that go down into the pit. Hear the voice of my supplications when I cry unto thee, when I lift up my hands toward thy holy oracle, right, towards the sanctuary, man. All right, let's go here to John, since I made mention of loving your life here. Okay, John 12, this is what Yahweh Shah said. John chapter 12 and verse 25 in the NLT. He says, those who love their life in this world will lose it. Those who care nothing for their life in this world will keep it for eternity, man. That's right. So if you love your life here in this wicked, nasty, dark, decrepit place, man, this wicked ass place, okay, you're gonna lose it. Okay, you're gonna lose. If you're an Israelite, you're forfeiting your own salvation, man. See, hey, Mark the 8th chapter, Yahweh Shah says, what is it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? See, and Jake, they want to gain this world. They want to, have a slice of the devil's pie, man. Okay, but in the end, you're gonna lose your soul. You're forfeiting your own salvation. You see, and you're sacrificing unto devils. See, because you're gonna sacrifice. See, we're losing our life for Yahweh Ba'Shemal Shah. See, but Esau, so like it, Jake, the 2/3 of our people, primarily here in America, they're forfeiting their inheritance and salvation for the sake of the devil, man. For Esau. Says those who love their life in this world will lose it. Those who care nothing for their life in this world will keep it for eternity. See, and that's the spirit that the Lord, okay, has upon his men. You just look around, you, the brothers that's around you, and even yourself, man. Bro, we do not care. Okay, we do not care about this shit, bro. We're just in this matrix, just functioning, going to work, doing this vain shit. But ultimately, this is what we care about, okay, is this work that Yahweh Ba'Shemal Shah has given unto us, okay, and the promises that he's revealed unto us, man. That's what we care about. You see? So those who that's in that mindset, they're going to keep their lives for eternity, man. See, they're going to be a part of that first dominion, the first resurrection, the tower of the flock. They're going to rule and reign with Yahweh Shah for that 1,000-year period, man, to where they get the earth back in order. Okay, they're going to be the fathers of the nations. They're going to be chief of the nations, man. You see? Verse 26, anyone who wants to serve me must follow me, because my servants must be where I am, and the Father will honor anyone who serves me. All right, man. Okay, so let's go to this article real quick. It says, speaking before an audience of world leaders and tech oligarchs. Let's look up that word oligarchs. A ruler in an oligarchy, it says a very rich business leader with a great deal of political influence, particularly with reference to individuals who benefited from the privatization of state-run industries after the collapse of the Soviet Union, right? And ultimately, America, okay, is a corporation, okay? It's not a country, and it's ruled by the rich and wealthy elites, man. You see? So America has to fall in line with the agenda of these elites, all right? So it says, speaking before an audience of world leaders and tech oligarchs, self-appointed global health Caesar, BG, openly called for the total fusion. Fusion means to mix together, all right, of biometric digital IDs. Okay, and we've been talking about this, man, concerning this sixth industrial revolution. All right, six, right? Which that has everything to do with blurring the lines between your physical, digital, okay, and biological is merging all those three together. The physical realm, the digital, okay, as well as the biological, man. It says he called for the total fusion. There's confusion too. It says for the total fusion of biometric digital IDs, personal bank accounts, okay, Revelation 13, buying and selling. See that? Personal bank accounts, payment systems, agricultural surveillance, okay, and centralized health records. Remember what Trump just did, okay, last year before I believe it was either before or after. It may have been I think it was in that bill, the big beautiful bill. I know he passed two major bills last year. Let me type this in real quick. Bear with me. See that? Okay, that's it. How do I get this off? It's not gonna let me read it unless I subscribe. I'm not about to subscribe to that crap. Let's see. See if I can find another website for you. All this shit bootleg, man. Okay. Let's see. Trump administration launches new private health tracking system with big tech's help. See that? And he did this, July 30th, or around this time period, July 30th, 2025. You know, we brought out the info and went into it. See, but all this is just a build up. Every day it's a build. See, Jake think that the Lord is tarrying with this thing. He's not. The Lord is building this thing up. And when it hits, it ain't no turning it back, bro. It's here. Every day Esau, he's tightening his grip. Well, the Lord is allowing, he's causing him to tighten that grip in the form of, you know, establishing this or setting up this new system. And we know it's going to ultimately be in vain. Okay, but this new system is going to be a snare and a trap. Okay, ultimately to snare the people in, okay, getting that MOTB. All right, but you see, yeah, Trump, you know, you had the help of big techs last year to you know, digitize everybody's health records. And that's what we're reading here in this article. All right. So it says, going back to this article, it says he called for the total fusion of biometric digital IDs, personal bank accounts, agricultural surveillance, centralized health records. Trump already did it, framing it as essential progress for humanity's safe and health. Okay. The pseudo salvation. That's how they're framing it as. That's the bait. This is the bait that they're putting on the hook. Okay, and to put you in that net underneath the guise of safety and health. And before you know it, okay, you're going to be in that net, man. Trapped. Habakkuk chapter 1. Habakkuk chapter 1 and 14. This is speaking about the Babylonians, which, you could link this to Esau, Edom. All right. Which really this is going into the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, the Chaldeans, which that represents in these modern times, okay, the elite banking families. See? And these witches, soothers, soothsayers, sorcerers. That's how the system is operated, man. Okay, by these class of men, modern day Chaldeans. So this is what they do. It says, and make, verse 14, Habakkuk 1:14, and make his men as fishes of the sea, as the creeping things that have no ruler over them. All right, they just totally take over all these nations, dominate. Okay. Regime changes to where ultimately all these nations, they got to be on board, okay, with what Esau is trying to push, because the Lord has given him the dominion of the earth for right now. Job 9:24. Verse 14, they take up all of them with the angle, which when you go into that word angle, it goes into a hook. All right. Let's grab that real quick. Well, let me read this verse and then we'll go into it. Habakkuk 1:15. They take up all of them with the angle. They catch them in their net and gather them in their drag. Therefore, they rejoice and are glad. Right. And this net, okay, is going into this digital system, how it's interconnected. Okay. The internet of things, right? Internet. All right. You may have heard something about the internet of bodies, the internet of things. Okay. Net. What does a net do? Okay. It traps in whatever is inside of the net. See? So he's creating this whole system, or the whole world. Well, he has this whole world, okay, in his net, man. But I want to get this word angle real quick. Strong's H2443. Chaka. All right. Hook, angle. All right. Hook, fasten, and jaw. All right. Because when you going fishing, you gotta put bait on the hook. Okay, you can't catch a fish, okay, with the bare naked hook. You got to put some bait on it. All right, and what's that bait? Well, we read it earlier. What BG is talking about. He says safety and health. So people are going to eat that up. They eat it up every time, man. All right, it's going to be for your benefit. It's going to be for your safety, for your health. You see? Just as he did in 2020. Now you got a lot of people that's waking up to it, that's finding out that he's the devil and you can't trust him. But okay, this is why he's about to starve you people out. Okay. He's also been given the jurisdiction to be that pale horse to kill the fourth part of earth with hunger. Okay. And with these biological, this biological warfare, man. So he's going to put humanity in that cattle squeeze to where even if you are privy to, okay, this man being the devil, if you people love your life here, okay, you're going to consent. No ifs, ands, buts, or about it, man. All right, so that's that hook, is that safety and health. And before you know, you're going to be found in his net. So I'm going to play this video real quick. All right. It says Bill Gates says the merging of biometric digital ID, bank accounts, and payment system is needed for to safely monitor people's health records, keeping tabs on farmers. Why? Because they're weaponizing food. And very soon there's about to be a food rationing system set up here in America. It's nothing new. Ezekiel chapter 4 prophesies about that. Revelation the 6th chapter prophesies about that. How you're going to eat, a particular measure, okay, of bread and measure of water every day. You see, and it's going to get to a point to where you ain't going to have shit to eat if you're not part of the elect. So fair use, fair use. I do not own the rights to this video. This is for educational purposes only. Fair use.
Another place that India leads, but there's a lot more that all of you can be involved in driving forward, is this digital public infrastructure. No country is more able to take government benefits and get them out efficiently and effectively to their citizens than India. You would have expected rich countries or others to do that, but in fact, they did not. And so that basic structure that starts with identity and bank accounts and payments is just foundation.
And India is totally digital. Okay, and he's bigging up India right now, saying that that's the model that all these countries need to follow after. He said you would think that these wealthier nations would be number one in this, but actually India is. Okay, but India, that's just a pilot. He sets up these particular pilot countries or uses them as pilot testings, if you will, to test out this new system. So you'd be a fool to think that it's not coming here. And when it comes here, bro, that shit, it's going to hit hard. It's going to hit people hard, man. Okay. You're not going to be able to go certain places. You're not going to be able to eat as much. So these people in America, they don't have any restraint. They're used to going here and there. They're used to just gorging themselves and, living that soft life. So this is going to bring total anarchy, okay, insurrection, and it's going to bring famine. And ultimately, they're going to the crowning of that solution is going to be that chip. That's what it's going to lead to, man. We can see it. It's so clear, bro.
And as part of this visit, I'm now seeing how that foundation is being built out in agriculture with profiles of farmers to understand.
And why are you targeting the farmers? Okay, Jeremiah 50:16, cut off him that handleth the sickle in the time of the harvest. See that? Talking about the farmers. They're cutting off the farmers, man. You see? And this very same individual that's speaking, okay, BG, okay, he's a nation's largest landowner, farm owner. See that? So it's not by coincidence he's talking about, digitizing the farmers and what they're doing, man. Absolutely, completely diabolical.
What they need and give them advice. Built out with health records so that we can help people not only with infectious diseases, but the challenge that's coming in the future.
See, and the challenge that's coming in the future. So come on, man. It's only really Jake that really think that things going to go back to normal. No, man, they're not. They know it's not. He said, "Oh, remember a few years ago?" He said, "Oh, this one will get their attention." Talking about the next, P-Dem. And it's all man-made, bro. We know Esau's doing this. Now, don't get it twisted. The Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah, is straight up, sending down particular plagues and evils. But, he uses a left-handed vessel to bring forth these things, these pestilences, man. And Esau is that left-handed vessel, this vessel fitted to destruction, this vessel of dishonor, a man of sin, So, it's laughable to us, bro, but to these people, they have no idea on what the fuck is going on. So the water Yahweh Shema Shah. So we just got to buckle up, okay, and stand stiffly for Yahweh Shema Shah, man. We got to stand stiffly, bro. So that's why, I open up with, speaking in the spirit, bro. Hey, counter all joy, to you, Akim, and to you, Akwath, that, for the hell that you catching. The Lord is about to show us very soon that these thorns that he didn't take out of our flesh, these thorns have been a blessing in disguise the whole time, because it's trained our minds to hate this place, to hate our lives here, man. Okay. So it ain't going to be no hesitation when this thing is rolled out. If we want to save our life, no, man, fuck this shit, bro. We're over this place. We are ready for the kingdom of heaven. We are ready to see Yahweh Shah. Okay.
With the growth of the non-communicable diseases being a huge thing, and that digital public infrastructure will help us with these climate problems. I was in Odisha yesterday, and what they showed is that they've registered the farmers and registered what type of crops they grow and what land they own. They literally have a control center. When you
and you got niggas talking about, yeah, man, you got to get your own land. Yeah, man, it's time to grow your own food. Motherfucker, you don't think, people have been thinking about that, bro? Esau, he tracking everything, man. So this is why, once again, hey, we not like these other Israelite camps pushing, farming and, living off we're not pushing all that shit as if it's salvation, because it's not. Now, if you could have those particular, if you got a little land and if you could plant, if you can afford that, cool. We're not hating on you, and that's a beautiful thing. Hell, I wish I had a garden I could, do that. If I did, I would. But even if I did, I wouldn't push that to the flock as if that's salvation. The only way out of this is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. Okay, because all right, he's the one that's ultimately set. This is the Lord's device right here. What we talking about, man. So the only way out of that, okay, is by coming correct, crying out to him, man.
You walk in, you think, wow, this is agriculture, but you've got a command center and maps and people doing queries and sending out messages. And so that all starts, with an Adhar identity, listing those farmers, getting the information, making sure it's up to date.
And this goes into 2 Ezra 15 chapter as well, how, the farmer shall lament, him that sow a seed shall lament, meaning they're going to be in, mourning, anguish, So the farmers are lamenting. What you think the rest of the population going to be? Okay. Okay. And they're going to be famished. You see? So this is where we're at with things, man. All right. Just a quick little update. I just saw this article. This was published yesterday, so I just wanted to go into it, to those of you that's been tuning in. This ain't new information. This is just, another reminder through the Spirit to prepare you. That's the purpose of going to these prophecies, is to prepare us and to put us in a certain mindset so we can be ready. All right. So this is why the Spirit has us to be repetitious, starting with our apostles and the men on down. We are Great Millstone. We are very repetitious in these prophecies. We just don't talk about one particular breakdown, once every 2 years, just to have it in the archive. No, we go into these prophecies. We break it down every day to where it becomes a part of you. So when this stuff really, gets rolled out, we're already ready, Psalms 57:6, we'll leave it right here. They have prepared a net for my steps, right? That's this new digital system, man, this digital enslavement, and it's prepared. It's ready to be rolled out. They have prepared a net for my steps. My soul is bowed down. They have digged a pit before me, into the midst whereof they are fallen themselves. Selah. And ultimately, Esau is going to fall into his own trap, man. All right, but that still doesn't, negate the fact that they prepared a net and a snare for us. Okay, so we got to watch how we stepping here in these times, man. Okay, making sure we stepping correct, so we're to where we are ultimately accepted of the Lord, man, and not snared into this system, because many Israelites are about to be snared and trapped and caught up. All right, so I'll leave it right there. Lord's willing, this is edifying to you, Akim, and to you, Akwath. All right. But until next time, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to my power, Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Hakodash. I want to give double honor to my beloved apostle, Elder Great Millstone, Mawaf Babal, Shalom. Shalom to all you Akim that tuned in. Shalom. And you Akwath as well. Shalom.